Hello, hello. Welcome back. I'm welcoming myself back. I am so excited to be here. It feels like it's been forever. And it's been a good amount of time, it's been maybe a couple weeks. But I'm so excited to be back here with you guys sharing in this space. The energy has been crazy, and I have been going through a lot of change and things happening that I've just needed the time and the space. And I shared with you guys in the Patreon community about everything that's been going on. And so I just basically what I'm trying to say is there's been such intense energy, and I've wanted to share what's been going on to support and to help and to tap in and tune in, but it hasn't been the right time. So I'm really excited to be here today to kind of do a channeled message for everybody here. As those of you that know me and have been here a while, I always start out saying I'm going to do a reading. I have my cards ready, and then I just end up channeling because spirit is just like, oh no, we need to talk about this, we need to talk about that, and then 30 minutes later, and I haven't even touched the cards. So that's kind of what today's going to be because it's been so long. Every message that comes through me is not coming from me personally. It is coming through spirit. It is channeled with the highest vibrational love, light, love. I'll probably make a video kind of disclaimer at some point to share who I channel and what I channel, because I know that that is a very confusing thing at the time, at this time in the let's say spiritual community space. I think there are people that are very aware of who and what they channel, and I think there are people that aren't. And I think making that clarification is really helpful and supportive at this time when discernment is one of the biggest things that we are all here trying to learn and to understand what is true and what is not. But the biggest advice I can give on that is if it feels in your heart right, your heart is the wisdom, your heart is the truth. And I know that can be really hard for people to discern what is my heart, what is my mind, what is fear, what is anxiety. That's kind of a deconditioning process that we all are responsible for, that we have to go through in order to be able to know what is right and what is not for us. But the biggest advice is your truth is always going to lie in the heart space, the heart chakra. That is the Christ consciousness. Okay. That is what I'm channeling. That is where I live. Okay, that all being said, I'm so happy to be here. I'm just going to kind of chat about what the current energies have been and where we, as a collective, how we've been feeling. And I do channel for divine feminine and divine masculine. Divine, essentially, to me, means that you are whole and balanced in your feminine and masculine energies, your inner feminine and masculine energies, or you are on the journey to balancing those. That is what it is. And a lot of people find this work and find this journey through twin flame initiations. Some people meet their twin flames in real life. Some people meet them in dream or astral space, but all is welcome as long as the journey is about the mission, the healing, and coming into your own inner divine union. That is what this channel is all about. Yeah, and most of you know that because I know we have such a small but mighty strong community here. So I'm so grateful to see the support here. There is going to be an extended in the Patreon. So I am going to go more in depth around the Twin Flame Collective. As I've shared previously, if you're new to me, you may not know, but previously I've shared that I protect the Twin Flame Collectives by not sharing publicly in the YouTube as much around what's going on with them because of a lot of infiltration and deception. So when I go very specifically into twin flame messages or what's going on for each twin specifically or any of that, I tend to share that in the Patreon as well as my own personal journey. I keep all of that safe and sacred within the Patreon. So there will be an extended to this. This is going to be for the collective. This is, you don't have to be a twin flame or even identify with that. If you're on a spiritual journey and you're working to balance and come into your divine nature, your wholeness of masculine and feminine, then these messages are definitely going to resonate. But if you are a twin flame and you want to kind of check in and know what's been going on, very more specifically within that realm, there will be an extended for that. And I will probably catch you guys up more on what's been going on with me as well. And then I got you guys. Patreon, I got you. There's a lot of content that's going to be coming your way. Okay, great. That all being said, wow. So Mercury retrograde, crazy moon, crazy energy, like Neptunian energy, the Piscean Neptunian energy. I mean, I wanted to pull a reading for you all during that time, but I didn't get to. Just as I say that, I see a butterfly out my window. Transformation, change, death. The death card keeps coming up over and over and over and over again. And there's, because of this transitions placements within the astrology, which I don't really go into on this channel, I just kind of channel that energy, if that makes sense. But if you're looking for astrology, this is not the place. I just will touch on it here and there. But it's having a huge effect on what's going on with us right now. So there's so much change, but we're not feeling a lot of clarity around the change. We feel a little confused and hazy. We also have this Mercury retrograde. So there's a lot of sneaky energy, but the irony, usually we hear about like the Seven of Swords in the tarot, or we hear about deceptive energy and we get kind of scared and we get kind of like, oh my God, I hate this. Like it means I'm being dishonest or someone in my life is being dishonest, and it doesn't feel good. But it's actually, it's a very bizarre deceptive energy, one that I personally haven't, that I can recall, felt before, because it's almost like positive deceptive energy. It's like surprise energy. It's like surprise birthday energy. And some people don't like surprises. And I feel like the people that don't like surprises have attachment issues, right? Because if you're super attached and you're a little bit of a control freak and you need to know how things are going to go, you're not going to like surprises. So this energy could be very challenging. And I would argue for all of us, it's challenging in a way because of the Virgo energy that we are living in. And Virgo, on her best days, likes to know what's coming, likes to in her highest exaltation, it's not necessarily controlling. I don't know what the positive word is, what a less negative connotated word would be for controlling. But Virgo likes to have a grasp. She's very rooted. She's very grounded. She likes to understand. She likes to know what's coming. She likes to have a plan. She likes to make lists. She likes to feel clean and organized and just very kind of clear. And then with the other influences that I previously mentioned and the change of the seasons, I personally believe that September 11th is a very potent portal day, a very, very powerful portal day, almost acting as if it's a new beginning, like a new year energy. And we all know that our calendars and everything have gotten very distorted with the Gregorian calendar, all that. It's very distorted. So we all just get to decide what we want our own personal New Year's to be. And for me, I actually do work with September 11th as a personal kind of new year. Not that it's my birthday, but it's just a very, very potent portal day. So there's just a lot. There's just a lot going on. But we don't necessarily have the grasp or the clarity that we are desiring. It's almost like a trust fall energy. And I've spoken about this energy before. So we're not new to it, right? Those of us in this collective that have been working this path together for a while, we're not new to this energy, but this one is ominous. This one is very bizarre because it's so heightened. It's very intense. And it's almost as if you have no control of what's going on. You are asked to take actions and steps. If you follow those steps, you're going to feel more flow and you're going to feel less friction, but you're still probably going to feel anxiety right now under these transits. You're still probably going to feel a little iffy, right? And anxiety might be an extreme version. So it may not be all the way anxious, but it's definitely, there's just a quality to it. And I'm sure you guys will know what I mean. So you can kind of color inside the lines as language is failing me as I'm trying to explain this energy, but it's surprise energy. And the trap, or the thing that we want to be really careful of, is not getting into the negative or shadow exaltation of this energy, which is hopelessness, despair, depression, doubt, anxiety, fear, worry, being out of the present moment. The irony is Virgo can make us very productive. And so it's a really good time to clean out closets. It's a really good time to get organized. It's a really good time to do things like that. But then with kind of the Piscean and the Mercury retrograde and all the Neptunian influence, it can actually leave you very exhausted and drained and almost like I'm not going to get off the couch type of vibe. So that's also a possibility. That's almost a shadow of it. And that can happen when we feel sort of disempowered by the not knowing. So depending on where you are on the scale of neutralized energy and detachment and surrender and allowing, because I know this is like spiritual lesson number one, but it's never one that any of us really like can check off our list and accomplish. We're always invited deeper and deeper into surrender and understanding what true surrender is, right? Like, but I would say it's almost like the gateway drug on a spiritual journey. It's the first thing you have to do. It's the first thing you have to do is you have to surrender. And you'll only be able to surrender this amount when you first start. And then things will happen and you keep going bigger and bigger. So essentially, if you struggle with that, this energy, these transits are going to be very challenging. So if I'm speaking to divine masculine energy, divine feminine may be feeling this a little bit more flowy and more enjoyable. Okay. Masculine may be struggling a little bit more. However, depending on where you are in your polarity and what you've neutralized within yourself, you may actually identify as being more of a masculine energy, but very comfortable with surrender and the feminine energy within you. So you may actually be able to go even deeper into your feminine energy at this time, if that makes sense. So you can be very strong and grounded in your masculine energy, feel very rooted, but then also feel like, oh, this energy is allowing me to get even deeper into flow, even deeper into surrender, even deeper into trust. Trust being a huge, huge, huge key here. So if you find yourself in this place of feeling as if you're in a dark room and you're fumbling to turn on the light, Spirit's advice right now is notice what you can in the dark. Allow the dark. Feel into the dark. Surrender to the dark and enjoy it. And I'm not necessarily talking about light and dark as in shadow energies. It means the opposite of another. So the light is symbolic here for knowing what's coming, having a plan, being kind of more strategic and more masculine in your forward movement, forward thinking, which this time of year makes us want to do naturally within the collective, as does Virgo. But then with everything else that's going on, it's really, oh my God, thank you. That's beautiful, Spirit. It's really asking us to be balanced. It's asking us, it's almost kind of gently, but almost forcibly in a way too, to be balanced, right? To come into that center, because we have a lot of extremes right now. But if we're too far in one or the other, we're going to get thrashed around. And so it's almost like Spirit's almost like alleviating options. Like our ego maybe always likes to think that we have options, that we can do this or we can do that. But it's almost like this period, this incubator we've been in of lessons and learning is showing us you actually don't have many options. You can prolong and yeah, I guess prolong the inevitable, your destiny, if you will, for a certain amount of time, but you're always being moved, kind of like the ocean, right? The current is always moving you in the direction. You can't really fight it. You might start to be able to go this way a little bit and think you're not going the way that it's pushing you, but you're just going like this and you're still going like that. Like it might be longer, but it might be the long way around, but you're still going the same direction. So what Spirit's message is for us during this time is just allow it. Why don't you just float, right? Why don't you just allow yourself to be held and carried? And also in that floating and in that being carried, you are going to get what we might identify as more masculine energy that will give you the initiation, that will give you the idea, the spark, act on this, go do this, right? Because it's not a completely restful Mercury retrograde, because I think sometimes Mercury retrogrades feel like, literally, let me go rest on the couch and dream and meditate and just kind of feel and pull myself back, kind of spend a lot more time alone, but that's not really what we're being asked to do either. It's a perfect balance. It's a merge, it's a harmony, it's grounding energy. And the twin flame sort of journey and dynamic, it's grounding, it's rooting because of the masculine and feminine energies within the collective that have been balancing and harmonizing. And so now something beautiful can grow from that earth, from the soil, from that nutrient rich soil, because it's been healed, it's been purified. So we are being asked to be able to live in the in between and to do and accomplish both. It's not one or the other. And so many of us have been kind of building up to this. Like we've been working really hard on this. And when you find yourself surrendering, detaching, and really being in the harmony of this energy. And it may not be possible for you to be in it 100% of the time, but you can find certain pockets, right? But when you find yourself in that, you'll notice that things are easy, like in a weird way, that your ego is almost shocked by it. Like certain tasks or to-dos, if you get the guidance, like today's energy really supports me doing this, let me go do this today, even though it might be something that's so annoying that you don't want to do at all, right? But you follow that guidance instead of resisting it and taking that longer route that we were talking about with the ocean. If you just go, okay, I'm being pushed this way, I'm just going to go do this. I don't want to do it. My ego definitely doesn't want to do this. This feels scary. This feels annoying. This feels, you fill in the blank, right? But if you just allow yourself to go do it, you go do it and you realize, oh, that was so much easier than I thought it was going to be, or it flowed, and you find some sense of accomplishment and peace within it because you were able to go do it, and it feels nice. It feels kind of soothing, actually. The Virgo energy within us feels very soothed by being able to check something off the list. We may have woke up that day not knowing we were going to go do that. So that's kind of the balance, is like Virgo energy might have us being like, here's what I'm going to do Monday, here's what I'm going to do Tuesday, do, planning it all out. And then the Pisces energy might be like, just wake up with no plan and literally do nothing, and have it be 3 p.m. and be like, wow, I didn't do anything today. But we need to be in the balance of that. So don't plan out what you're going to do. Feel into the energy every morning. And I'm really using this in like to-dos in life as examples here, but this is emotional too. This is the energy. This is just me trying to explain the energy. So this could be for, healing work you're doing. This could be relationship, things coming up in your personal life and in your relationships, guidance you're getting from spirit, it could be work and career and mission. It really could be anything. I think it's just been the examples of like living your life day to day is kind of easy to do, especially within the Virgo energy. So you might find things going a little bit easier than you anticipated, and there might be peace, but because of that Seven of Swords, because of that deception, because of the Neptunian energy, it feels a little bit too good to be true, and like you don't want to fully trust it. There's been times and energies where we've had similar influences, but and I'm sure an astrologer would know the specifics of why it's different. This one doesn't feel as good as those may have felt, where it felt like you could just kind of like, oh, this feels nice. I'm just in the flow. Everything's just kind of working out. There's synchronicities. This is happening. That's happening. It doesn't feel that way. Like it's almost like we have to work a little bit harder to achieve that right now. It's possible, but we're going to have to put in the grunt work. We're going to have to lay the foundation. And there's that balance again of the masculine and the feminine and the harmony there. Right? Things our ego doesn't necessarily like, but it's almost like we're training the ego right now. We're showing the ego, see, it's not scary. You made a big deal out of that for no reason. Right? And what it's bringing is absolute transformation. There's the death card I'm seeing in my head again. So it's this absolute change from the ground up. Everything is different. You are different. You as a person, if you've been on this journey, you've been doing this healing, you are radically different, no matter how much your ego tries to tell you you're not. And your ego tries to say, no, you haven't done the work. No, you're not ready. Or, you got to keep being in that hermit mode. You got to just stay on your grind and prepare yourself. Spirit's telling you there's no more preparation. You are ready. And we're giving you this almost difficult transit to show you and to motivate you. It's almost like the pain or the discomfort of sitting in that space is getting to be so much. I heard silence is deafening. The silence is deafening. So take that as that resonates for somebody. But it's like getting to be so much that it's forcing us into that action that we know we need to do. But we're doing it within the flow and the support of the energy. I promise you, action is supported under this. And I think in previous kind of Piscean Mercury retrograde energies, it doesn't always feel supported, but it really is right now. It's very supported because of all this change and this transformation. So it's really about honoring yourself. And it's only through these life experiences, through these almost scary hurdles. And I will share more personally in the extended about what I've been experiencing. But it's through going through those things that you're reminded of how strong you are and how much you've transformed and how much work you've done. And you get to see it in practice. Because regardless of what's been going on in our lives for the past, year or whatnot, regardless of what's been going on, we've been changing and we've been doing a lot of work, and we may not have seen it because we have been in the kind of hermit mode where it's been more internal and it hasn't we've been shielding ourselves, we've been keeping ourselves safe, we've been kind of keeping ourselves nurtured in kind of a bubble in order to do it. And so we didn't always get to see how much we've done. We didn't have the proof. I was going to say the paper trail. I don't know what that's about. So we didn't have like the affirmation or the confirmation in the mirror of somebody else or something else doing the thing, right? And so now we're getting the opportunity to do the thing and to really show ourselves, even when there's doubt. It's almost like doing something that you have so much doubt and fear about and just doing it. And then after you do it, you're like, oh my God, wow, I did that. That was, wow, I can't believe that's over, you know? And it's not that it's going to get under this energy. I don't feel like the tasks are going to get easier, because sometimes you experience that where you build your resolve and your resilience and you just start to not even stress, or not, I don't know if stress is the right word, but you start to not have any of this process anymore, because you're like, oh, I just ripped off the Band-Aid and now it's easy and now I can just do this and I can do that and it's fine. I don't feel that happening under this. I still feel that every single thing that's even slightly like destabilizing to our nervous system, that's slightly out of our comfort zone, that's slightly out of what we've been doing, because we've been in this hermit mode, right? It's like a baby bird leaving the nest. Like every single thing is still going to feel kind of scary, but then we're each time going to prove to our ego, it's okay. You're held. You truly are protected. You truly are safe, right? Here's an example Spirit's giving me. As spiritual people who are on these journeys, and we start to wake up and we start to realize actually how fragile we are, right? Our human bodies, how fragile our human bodies are. And we start to realize how fragile, and bear with me, we're strong too, polarity, right? But how fragile our etheric body is, how sensitive, maybe that's a better word, how we feel everything, how energy affects us, how you know, food affects us, how people's moods and emotions affect us, how, you know, tiny little chemicals or particles out there affect us, like all of it. It all affects us, right? And we wake up to this whole reality that we weren't even noticing. Hummingbird out my window. We wake up to this whole reality that we weren't even noticing. And then we're like, oh my God. And you kind of feel like, how do I even live? How do I even go to the grocery store? How do I get out in the world and not just die, or not just like get taken over by dark energy or, you know, other people's shit? How do I live? Right. And so you're in that hermit mode and you're kind of like healing that, and you're getting stronger and stronger, and your vibration is getting stronger and stronger. And now we're moving into this place of being ready to emerge. But your ego is like, what do you mean? We just learned about how dangerous it is out there. We just learned about how crazy it is out there as a spiritual person. You know, it's not safe, right? And so you kind of want to keep yourself in the hermit mode, or you want to keep yourself safe from emotions or emotional connection, or letting somebody in, or being seen, or, you know, having a mirror reflection. You just want to keep yourself safe from these things, because you learned how much they fucked you up in the past, right? You learned how much you've been hurt, or you finally woken up to your pain, or whatever it is. And Spirit's basically kind of that like loving parent on the first day of school who's like, it's okay. Like, I'll pick you up. I'll be here when you're done. I'm right here. Like, you know, and I'm not going to leave you. Like, I may leave you in the physical, but I'm not leaving you in the emotional. I'm not leaving you in the higher realms. I'm right here. I'm holding your hand. I'm with you. That's kind of the experience that we're going through right now. It's like we're emerging, these butterflies, these brand new beings, after such a huge, huge journey. And we're not going to know or be able to recognize how huge it was and how much of an impact it's made and how much we've changed until we start to have the experiential understanding through the mirrors, through the learning, through connection, through engaging with others. And this journey is not over. But I do feel very strongly that what we're coming up against, which is why the death card is here and why there's this really intense energy that's kind of hard to ride the waves of, is because we are now being kicked out of the nest, where it's like, okay, you're ready. Off you go. Off you go. Go be out in the world now. It's time. Let's go do it, you know? And I personally have just been like, what? Like, I don't want to go be out in the world. I don't want to, no, you know, but that's kind of what's happening. And it, for you personally, it might look a little bit differently, right? Maybe it's leaving a job, right? Maybe it's moving, maybe it's, you know, leaving a relationship, maybe it's starting a relationship. It's going to be unique to everybody, but the undercurrent is the same. It's like, as these light workers spiritual warriors, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Terminology is so funny, especially on YouTube. Twin flames, whatever. Whatever term you use, but we are here to spread light and to spread Christ consciousness. And yes, we can absolutely do that all by ourselves, because that's how energy doesn't know boundaries or walls or anything. So yes, we can absolutely spread love and light from being very isolated and alone. But there is also a huge part of our journey, and many who maybe identify with being an indigo starseed, the indigos are meant to be on the front line, right? And the indigos were, I believe, I could be wrong, so someone could correct me on this, but I believe the indigos started being born in the late 60s. And so they were kind of like the 60s through the 90s, and those are the indigos. And then now we have like the rainbows and the crystals, and they're much more sensitive and kind of etheric. They're beautiful, but they're not necessarily meant to be on like the front lines fighting the battles, right? Whereas the indigos, we are. So anywho, a little bit of a tangent, but it's time. It's time to go do that. It's time. Okay, is there anything else? Let me see. How long have I been talking? Oh, it doesn't tell me. I don't actually know. So what I'm going to do, because I don't feel like it's been that long, well, it probably has, but I'm going to pull just a couple cards for us to kind of wrap this up, and before I leave you and move over into the extended. Yeah, everything's brand new. It's like new energy. It's really new energy, but our ego is still sitting in the old and being like, but the thing is the old is gone. It's just an illusion. That's part of the deception, which is why it's not necessarily bad deception, right? It's not the type of deception to like get worried about and think you have to go transmute as like a devil or toxic energy. It's more just we're about to jump off the edge. And once we do, we will understand and know a lot more and be able to affirm to ourselves that things are different, that we're building we're birthing a whole new life. We're manifesting and creating a whole new life. But that in between, before the jump, the ego is like, no, it's not safe. It's not safe. We can't do this, because the ego is still kind of sitting in that old gunky stuff. Okay. Let's just pull. This is an oracle deck. I thought I was going to do tarot, but I think I'm going to do this oracle deck. What is this deck called? It's not the Work Your Light, Rebecca Campbell. It's the other one. Just grab a couple messages. And I think in my in the extended, I will do more card pulling for you and more about kind of like it will probably end up being like a twin flame journey update. So we'll go deeper into the energies for both masculine and feminine and union energies. And then if I'm guided and spirit is pulling on me to do so, I will definitely share a little bit more personally of like how it's been coming up for me, because I know when you're learning, that's why it's so important for us to all share and use our voices, because we learn so much from other people's experience, and we can understand ourselves even more fully when people share honestly. Yeah, but I'm always guided to be very protected in that. So that's why the Patreon exists. Okay. Let's see. What messages do you have for this collective right now with this energy that we're all feeling? I have a card on the floor. All right. Wow. Okay. Weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. What is this cross by? Child of the cosmos, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. Okay. Yeah, it's, oh, yes, I love when that happens. So this just feels like confirmation. Take the rocks out of your pocket. Like, take the rocks out of your pocket. One of my favorite books in the world, there's a character in the main character, and he always talks about heavy boots, and it's just like the sadness of the world, being sensitive, being somebody who can feel, who's whatever. He always talks about having heavy boots. And so I feel like it's kind of the same thing as the rocks in your pocket. But yes, it's time. It's time to let go of that burden. That may be the old you, and that may be what you created for yourself in that old creation, but it's all brand new now. You are a child of the cosmos. The universe is with you and supporting you, but the universe is only supporting you in making these changes. The universe is not supporting you in staying in this. This feels very, if we were going to compare to the tarot, the 10 of Wands. That's what this feels like. This card legitimately feels heavy. That's hilarious. I'm not even kidding. It feels heavier than this one. So Creating boundaries. Virgo season really does support us in setting up firm boundaries within ourselves. Oh, I tapped the mic, sorry. Within ourselves, but also with people around us, and or just with our time, you know, just with the things we want to get done or the things we need to do, and kind of gently nudging ourselves like a little inner child, and you know, being like, okay, you have this scary thing you want to do. Okay, so we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it today, but we're going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to do it, you know, or whatever it is. I don't know. Sometimes giving yourself incentive. I don't know. Spirit's really giving me like very practical, kind of like mundane things right now. But I think that has a lot to do, like, to share with you guys, or ideas of ways that you can work with this energy. But I think that has a lot to do with the Virgo. I'm actually guided to grab one more card. So I'm going to grab one more card from this deck. One more for us. Okay. Ooh. Wow. There's a lot coming off of this one. Okay. So some of you, water is going to be extremely healing right now. Okay. And at least for us here in the US and Canada and South America, like, we're still a little bit kind of in that summery window. Yes, I'm sure weather is changing for you, but for a lot of you, I think it is still warm enough to go into a body of water, a natural body of water, whether it's a river, a pond, a lake, a stream, the ocean. It's going to be really healing. Getting yourself in it, putting your head under. I know some people don't like to do that, but it's going to be really, really healing right now. A lot here about the throat chakra and activation. I'm going to show you the card in just a second, but I want to keep looking at it as I'm trying to channel. So it's like jump into the water, jump into the ocean. Yeah, it might look cold. Yeah, it might look scary. Maybe you can't see what's underneath. But you know that feeling when you finally jump in and you're like, oh, it feels so good. It's so refreshing. It feels like you're brand new. That's the guidance here. And it's something about using your voice, your sound, your throat chakra to activate. It's a deep activation. Share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. So this is the whale and orca elders. Powerful. Connecting in dream space or meditation with whales, dolphins, orcas. That's going to be really profound. It's almost like saying something out loud, even if you're by yourself. Yes, some of us need to say something to another person for sure. You know, whatever yes, but you almost have to say it out loud with yourself first. What if it's a boundary, if you need to like quit a job, if you need to like tell someone how you feel, like whatever it is. There's something about the activation of the voice, or if it's you talking to spirit and putting in like an order, a request. This is what I want. This is what I'm creating. This is where I'm at. It's like use your voice out loud. There's something about the frequency, the sound. Diving deep. Time to dive deep. And I think a lot of you tuning in today have been afraid of the diving deep, but it's only the ego and the illusions and that little bit of deceptive energy we've touched on in this that has kept you feeling like you're not ready, it's not safe. But Spirit is saying you are. Trust yourself. Wow, so much about the water. I didn't even look at the bottom of the deck for this one, but it's the seas of Mintanka. The seas of Mintanka. Seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. There it is again. Speaking this truth, bringing the unconsciousness to light. Whatever you've realized within yourself, whatever you've figured out, it's time to bring it out of the shadows, out of the darkness, out of the mystery, into the light. Right? It's all about the alchemical process. Yes, we're going to be in the shadows and the darkness and in the feminine and the void space for a while, but we're always going to have to bring whatever we learned out to the public in service, as a gift, to our friends and family, to people in our lives. We have to say what we feel. It's so important. We have to share. We have to, that's the activation. And I think that's that whole romanticized idea of the monks on the hill, where it's like, I don't have to do that. But it's like, we are living in an epoch that I love that word. That's a new word for me that I'm integrating. We have to live, or we are in a new epoch where it is not about that monk on the hill. It is about the on the ground, in the streets, like engaging day to day. Family, friends, community, people, right? You go through periods, right? You may need some time. You may go away and disappear for a while, and then you come back. Like, there's all these different things in that. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to go to the extended. This was fun to be back in this space. So I'm sending you all so much love. Thank you so much for being here. All of your support, your likes, your shares, your comments, subscribing, that really helps. Like if you watch these videos and you're not subscribed, that's like one of the biggest ways that you can support me in the channel, as well as liking, because then other people can find it. So that's all really, really appreciated so much. But if you want to check out that that extended, the link is going to be in the description, and you'll be able to check out the Patreon and kind of see what we do over there. And yeah, I hope to see you guys again soon. All my love, and bye for now.